Hey everybody, hope you all having a great day. Today we're doing something very special and enjoy it with my two sons. Hey guys, hang on, say hi to everybody. John's got to say hi to everybody. He don't want to be on camera, but he's on camera. This is my son Harley. Harley and his wife are both in the United States Air Force. My son John, law enforcement, very proud. You guys come over here, follow me. Don't want to be on camera. I guess it's embarrassing that Daddy does this stuff. Today, we're going to do a video about a true legend, a creator, an inventor, an inspiration, an inspiration to people like Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, the Rolling Stones, just the list goes, the Clash. Goes on and on and on and on and on. This man put the rock in rock and roll and created rock and roll. No matter what you hear, Elvis is the king of rock due to sales and to this and that. But this is the man that created rock and roll and was an inspiration to Elvis Presley too. Today we're at the grave of Bo Diddley. Now Bo always had a musical background. He was in his church. He played the trombone and the violin. And it was watching Johnny Lee Hooker. And he said to himself, he said, if this cat can play and do that, so can I. And he really started picking up on the guitar. He brought something totally new that had never been done into rock and roll, and that was that Bo Diddley sound. In 1955, he recorded I'm a Man and Bo Diddley. He was also on the Ed Sullivan Show. And that is the day that rock and roll was created. Or, excuse me, that was the day that rock and roll was brought to the world. Now, a lot of controversy happened on the Ed Sullivan Show. And he was barred from the rest of his times, never appeared there again, which, if I'd have been him, I wouldn't have wanted to. Ed Sullivan wanted him to do an old Tennessee Ernie Ford song. And he was going to do it, but when he got up there, they held up a cue card and it said Bo Diddley. Well, he thought they had changed it and wanted him to sing Bo Diddley, so he did. And Ed Sullivan got really upset, told him that he was the first colored boy that ever double-crossed him and just was rude and obnoxious to him. And, you know, the man was true to who he was. He had a passion, he had a gift, and he shared that with the world. This man had a love in his heart for what he did and for the music. Not for the fame, not for the fortune, not for anything but the music. And it, like I said, inspired so many to do what they did. So to be standing here at his grave and enjoying this with my two sons and letting them see a piece of music, rock and roll history, America history, is really cool for me. You know, he went on to do so many great things. There were so many songs that he co-wrote and wrote for other entertainers. He brought that tune to rock and roll, and without him, we wouldn't have had rock and roll. You know, he inspired so many and was a role model to just about every entertainer that came after him. That's saying a lot. The last 13 years of his life, he lived right up the street here, not far, in the little town of Archer, Florida. When he passed, he was lucky enough to have what was important to him next to his bedside. And that was his kids, his grandkids, his great-grandkids, and his guitar. You know, Bo was one of those guys that had morals. He had respect. You'll never hear a bad word in his song. He didn't believe in that. He thought that was wrong for all these entertainers to do. He said the kids deserved better than that. And he tried to create so much change for those young ones coming up, because he truly cared about them. It didn't matter if you were black, if you were white, if you were Mexican, Indian, Cuban, Puerto Rican. It didn't matter. In Bo's heart, we were all the same, and that's the way it should be. In 1971, he moved to New Mexico. Now, this is something a lot of people don't know. Bo Diddley, as my son John, was also in law enforcement. Oh, and my son Harley, Air Force law enforcement, and his wife. That's right. 1971, Bo Diddley moved to the same location my son's at, is New Mexico, and became a sheriff there. And it wasn't because he wanted to be a sheriff and he wanted to do this and that. He wanted to create change and help those kids in need. He donated 3 police cars to that sheriff's agency. This was a true man that lived life and did not let life live him, didn't let an image overtake who he was. In his eyes, he was no better than anybody else. As the headstone says, I'm a man. Yes, he was. He was also a pioneer, an icon, a phenomenon, an originator, and now a legend that will live forever through his music, through the music he wrote, the styles that he brought to others, the inspirations. You know, a lot of people don't know Bo Diddley wrote the very first rap song. And you can look that up. Next to him is his son, Ellis Jr. But I wanted to come out here today. We've got some rain coming, but I just got both my boys and wanted to take a trip and bring them out here. And I love music. Bo Diddley's one of them I love. I love the old blues. I love the originators of the rock and roll, which this man was it. This is the inventor of rock and roll. I love Buddy Holly's music. I just love everything like that because it was a time. You heard the respect, the morals, everything in the music. Now, Bo would have told you his favorite genre of music, I guess you would want to call it, or that may be a new word I just made up, was country music. And if you got in his car, it was on a local country station because he said it didn't have all that mess in it. He didn't want to hear that. He grew up way back, you know, went through the Depression and all, and got cut out of a lot. You know, he recorded a couple of his songs and took them to a record label, and they flat told him, man, we're not playing that stuff. That sounds like some kind of jungle music. And that's exactly their words to him. And one day he was coming back home and walked by Chess Records. Leonard Chess, y'all know that from the story Cadillac Records. Etta James and Muddy Waters. You know all of that. So he went in there with his record, and Leonard Chess heard it and said, man, I think you got something. But these older people ain't going to go for them lyrics. We got to change these lyrics and rewrite them. 1 week to the day, he showed back up at Chess Records and had it done. Now, this is what a genius this man was. He couldn't afford to go into a studio and record his song. He recorded it. He went down and got some lacquer and painted it on another record he had, put it on there, and took it to Chess Records. And they heard it, and music history was made. But a legend. I'm not going to get up here and walk. That's disrespectful, but I'll extend this stick out. There he is, the man, the legend. And in my book, not only the creator of rock and roll, but the true king of rock and roll. Sadly, through promotions, sales, and different things. A lot of these that everybody thinks have sold so many records and have done this and have done that haven't really done that. What they do is these labels will actually create their sales, and they'll actually buy a lot of these records to make them, because then the public finds out, oh man, they sold 1 million records, I don't have it, I gotta go get one. What's so good about it? And that's what happens. That's how Elvis Presley Enterprises did Elvis Presley, and why it said that he's outsold everybody else in history is because they, through their company, reinvest buying those records. So this man didn't do that. He was a true pioneer. There's so many great stories that you can look up and get that insight and get that closeness to Bo Diddley because of kind of a person he was. Like I said, he lived life. He didn't live an image. He accepted everyone for who they were and respected the same in return. He greeted everybody with respect and morals, and had love in his heart for everybody, as well as his love for music. So many stories. I truly think everybody should check into them and look some of them up. I'll post another video that will give you more of the insight of Bo Diddley. And he came up with a song, I'm a Man, because Muddy Waters at the time just released the song Manish. And he said, well, he did Manish, I'm going to do I'm a Man. And he did. And major hit, along with his Bo Diddley melody. And tons of others for himself and many other artists. There's so much more to Bo Diddley than what most people know. For me, not just being the legend, the inventor of rock and roll as he was, for me it's more the type of person that he was, because he lived the life. You know, playing on the street corners in Chicago when he moved there, I think in the 30s, as a little boy. He was that one that had an American dream and went after it, and inspired the dream for so many entertainers to come. So just wanted to pay our respects to Bo Diddley today and do a little video, and hope you guys enjoyed. And everybody have a great day. And in my book, Bo Diddley will live forever. You guys say goodbye. All right, you guys. Thank you guys. Have a great day. And we'll see you on the next one.